What's up, Tamers? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good day. So, I've been checking my calendar and I've actually come to look that... Excuse me, Mr. Man. That's my puppy. That's my puppy right there. He took a piss in my bed last night. Really ruined the vibe, but hey, it is what it is. Before I was rudely interrupted, I was looking at my calendar and I actually came to look that BT-10 is not coming out until October 14th. So pretty much we have another month of BT-9, and normally people are playing decks they want to take to tournaments, but there's not too many tournaments coming out in that time span. So people are saying BT-9 is kind of on that like downward. It's kind of over. Everyone's just getting ready for BT-10. So I thought, hey, let's make a deck that is just, you know, fun to play. It might not be the best and most meta changing, but it's just going to be something you can take to your locals or just go online and just have a couple games and have a good time doing it. So we are going to do that today, and we are actually going to make an Agubond. So Agubond, if you don't know, is a really unique style of deck where you're pretty much rookie rushing, but there is a goal in mind. You have to get your Tamer out, and then you can warp Digimon from a level 3 to a level 7. If you ever seen the movie The Last Evolution, I believe that's what it's called, it's really good. It's a really good movie. It kind of shows that like whole dynamic of what Digimon's all about you growing up and you're changing and all that sort of stuff, and it's just a really good conclusion to the original cast. I think they did that because they went into the whole new group. Well, it's not really a new group, same group, revamped more or less with Digimon 2020 and with this card game. Really excited to talk about this because BT-9, weirdly enough, has a lot of cards that help the deck out, and not a lot of people are talking about it. Yeah, let's get into this, and I hope you enjoy, and I hope you try it out for yourself because I had fun building it and it's fun to play. To start things off, we're going to start off with the eggs. We are running 4 of the Koromon from BT-9. This one is just going to allow you to get plus 1,000 on your turn for your Agumons and your Greymons. This is going to really help the rookie rush style because it just makes things a little stronger, so that might make things survive longer and keep a bigger board presence. So that's why we're going to run this one out of 4 of, but to be honest, it's a rush deck, so I won't run 5 eggs, so we're just going to run these 4. So that is the level 2s. So now we're going to get on to the level 3s and the rookies of the deck. We are running 4 of the Agumon from EX-01. This one's just going to, as an inheritable, allow you to search for when you attack the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer or 1 Agumon in the name to your hand, place the remaining bottom of your deck in any order. This is going to allow you to search for your Bonds of Courage. It's going to allow you to search for your Tamers. Like I said before, this deck is very Tamer focused. You need to have your ties out for this style of play to work. So this is going to allow you to search for it. And I think running this as a 4 of is a really good option for this deck. So next, for the level 4s, we run 4 of the starter deck 7 Agumon. This one's just going to give plus 2,000 to your Digimon when you attack the player. So if you're swinging into security, you get plus 2,000. It's just a really good way to boost up your DP for this deck, and it's a rush deck, so you're not really going to be trying to swing over stuff most of the time. You're pretty much going to be kind of getting them out there and just going straight into their security, so hopefully let your things survive longer. Now next, we are running 4 of the Agumon from BT-5. This one is your searcher of the deck. On play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with Greymon in the name, other than all that stuff, and 1 Omnimon. We don't run Omnimons in the deck, so that's never really going to happen, but allowing you to search for your top end sort of way of all of your level 4s pretty much is valuable for this deck. So that's why we run this as a 4 of, is more or less the searching aspect of the deck, and it's an Agumon, so it plays into the play style of the deck. Next, we are running 3 of the Agumon from BT-6. This is the Bond of Bravery Agumon. This one allows, as the inheritable, to get a security attack plus 1 if it's an Agumon Bond of Bravery. It also has on all turns, if a Tamer is played, you gain a memory. So if you have this out, and a tie hits in security, you'll gain a memory. You could possibly pass turn that way. A lot of times that's not really why it's in there. You kind of more or less want this so your Bond of Bravery can possibly do 3 security checks if it ever ends up coming out. So that's why we run this at a 3 of, because the inheritable is nice, but it's not like going to help you throughout the entire game. It only is specific to the Bond of Bravery, so that's why you don't want to run it at a 4 of, but you want to see it, so I run it at a 3 of. And it's searchable with the Agubond EX1 inheritable, so that's why. Next, we are running 2 of the Agumon Expert. Agumon Expert's on play is return 1 Digimon with Agumon in its name from your recycling bin. This card is old. It came out before they really had the name for the trash yet, or so when it was printed. So that's why it says recycling bin, but it's the trash, same thing. This one can't go into the Bond of Bravery, just for a heads up, because it has to be an Agumon, and this one's an Agumon Expert that plays in, but it's just something to note. But it's why you run this, for 2 reasons why you run this at a 2 of. 1, so it can search for your Agumon Bond of Bravery or any Agumon you need. Also, it can search itself. So you can technically do a loop process with these 2 cards by bringing one out, swinging with it, it dies because it has 1,000. 9 times out of 10 is going to go. And then on play the next one. So then you can return it back to hand and kind of keep doing the process over and over again. So it allows you to consistently recycle your Agumons. That's why I run it at a 2 of. Has that come up all the time when I play this deck? No, but when it does, it's kind of neat, so that's why we're gonna run it. Next, we are running 2 of the Agumon X Antibody from BT-09. This one is the on play, and when digivolving, it can digivolve over an Agumon, so that's why we run it. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, add a Greymon or Omnimon and 1 X Antibody. We don't run any X Antibody, so that's never going to come up, but the searching for all your Greymons is useful with this deck, so it's more search. And it also lets you use the inheritable from the starter deck Agumon. So you can have the starter deck Agumon out, go into this Agumon to draw a card, search your stuff, and swing its security for 4K. Giving the plus 2,000 to this, making it a 4K body instead of a 2K. So that's why I like running the starter deck Agumon in this deck rather than the promo Agumon that gives Greymons 2,000. Granted, that's still a really good card and it can run in this deck, and I think most people would, but I like having the starter deck Agumon for that reason. Also to know, this will not be able to go into an Agumon Bond of Bravery because it's an Agumon X Antibody, not just Agumon. So that's something to note. That's why I don't run it at a 4 of, because the searching part of it's really nice, but it bottom decks all your Agumons and Tamers, and it can't go into the Bond of Bravery, and I want to have Agumons that can do that. Most of my level 3s to do that, so I have, as of right now, 4 total Agumons in my level 3 count that can't go into the Bond of Bravery, but that's easily you can play around that a bit. But they both add value to the deck, so that's why I want to run them. And last but not least, the last Agumon we run is this Agumon from BT-1. Reason why we run this card is 1, it looks for the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer. It's not specific to color, but that doesn't matter. We run all red Tamers. But why I like this card so much is a little bias. This is one of my favorite arts in the game. I've always loved this art, and I just really like the look of it. And it plays into the deck, so I want to run it, but I don't want to run this at a higher number than 1, because if I'm using it, I'm really in a tough situation. I really need a Tamer, but I really enjoy the art of this card so much, so that's why I run it. So these are the level 3s of the deck. We run 20 because this is kind of a rookie rush style. You want to have as much of these as possible, so we run 20. All right, on to the level 4s of the deck. This guy, we run 4 of the Greymon, promo Greymon. This one is kind of the star of the show in a way. He's your way to deal a lot of damage because he has on your turn, when you have an Agumon in your Digi-Evolution cards, he gains security attack +1. So this is going to just allow you to add aggression to your plays, so you're able to, get those 2 checks off. And with the eggs we run and the starter deck Agumon, you're able to boost this guy up so he has a chance to swing over level 5s, and keeping him alive as long as possible is really good because this has such a strong board presence if it's still on board after the fact. Like, he does his 2 checks, and if he does 2 checks, they have to deal with the next turn, or you're going to do another 2 or another 1. That's 3 checks with 1 level 4, and I think that's why this card's a really good card to have in this deck, and he plays into the whole Agumon thing. So yeah, that's why I run that at 4 of. The next card we run, they are a bit of a weird combo for this style of deck, because traditionally these cards were not really run in the Bond of Bravery, but we're running 2 of the starter deck Greymon. Reason being, it has the inheritable of security attack +1, very straightforward. That's why we run it. The next one we run is the Greymon from EX-01. This card has the inheritable of you may play 1 Tai Kamiya with a play cost of 3 or less from your hand when attacking for free. This card pretty much since its existence in the game has never been used. I don't really know much of decks that run this card, but this is kind of one of the only decks where the Tai's Kamiya is a 3 cost, and it does matter to have it for the plays to work. So this deck really relies on the ties. So being able to get out your ties for free is, I think, really nice. So that's why we run that. Next we run 2 of the Greymon from BT-08. It's black, but it can go over red, so that's not an issue there. But when you have a red Digimon in play, you gain blocker. So this is going to allow you to have some sort of defense in this deck, because traditionally there isn't any blocker Greymons. So this is your way to kind of get that, but still keep the Greymon Agumon line for the deck, because it matters for the flow of things. Then the next 2 level 4s we run are the Greymon from BT-05. This one, when Digivolving, if it has Agumon and the Digi-Evolution cards, you gain a memory, making this a 1 cost Evo, and it's inheritable, which can come up, gives plus 2000 to Greymons or Omnimons. We run this because it's a way to cheaply evolve, because it's a 1 cost pretty much, and he plays into the themes of the deck, so that's why we want to run it. So next level 4 we run makes all of these level 4s inheritables possible is the Greymon X Antibody. Pretty much this guy can evolve over Greymons for free, and his inheritable will never come up, so we're not going to worry about it, but it allows you to then evolve over this Greymon, giving it security attack +1, adding more aggression. This one allows you to play out your Tamers for free. This one will become a blocker, and this one will just become a beefier level 4. This card single-handedly allows you to utilize these inheritables that traditionally and in the other past formats of Agubond were never able to do. So that's why I think it's a really neat addition, and it plays into the Greymon aspect of this deck. So that's why I run that at a 4 of, and it allows me to use all these. I think it's a really cool combo you can pull off. Next, last but not least, these are the last 2 level 4s we're running of the deck. These are Agunimons, Aguni for game. These just go over your Tamers, they're hybrids. It's just going to allow you to get that final swing to finish a game off. Pretty simple. Traditionally, there was always, you ran 4, but I think because we're using so much of those inheritable Greymons, I think running it at a 2 of, because you still want to see it in the deck, but I don't think it's totally like end all be all if you don't see it or not. Alright, so the last Digimon cards we're running for the deck is 2 Agumon Bond of Bravery. This is the main focus of the deck, but we're only running 2 of it because 1, I can search it from my trash, I can search it with the EX-01 Agumon inheritable, and I feel like a lot of times you might finish game before you even have to ever use this thing, but he has a 1 attacking. If you have a Tamer in play, which you always will, to get him out you have to have the tie out, so you'll always have a Tamer out. You delete something 13,000 or less. The other effect is, on your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, trash the top card of their security. So this allowing him as a whole minimum do 2 checks. And if you have the Agumon that gives it security attack +1, he'll do 3. He can do 3 checks. You run this to 2 because you don't want to always jump the gun and go right into this, but it's a great way to take out 3 security and finish game pretty quick. I like this card a lot. This is another one of my favorite arts of the game. I just really like the Agumon coming out. So now we're going to get into the Tamers. Now to be fair, this is the real star of the show. This is Tai Kamiya. He's a 3 cost. On your turn, when an Agumon or Greymon moves out of the breeding area, you get to draw a card and gain a memory. So just allowing you to get more cards in hand helps a lot with this deck, so just drawing is super nice. And then its main effect is when you may Digivolve one of your Agumon into an Agumon Bond of Bravery from your hand with it for its Digi-Evolution cost, ignoring the level, and if you do, trash the top 2 cards of your security stack. Then if you have 1 or more security, delete that Digimon at the end of the turn. So you don't really want to go into the Bond of Bravery too much because it's kind of like a crutch. It takes out some of your security for you to be able to do a significant amount of damage, kind of like in the movie. So yeah, this deck really follows the movie plot, and I like that. It's super neat. You kind of more or less want to go into this kind of finish game. Like if you're going into your Bond of Bravery, you're ending the game. But this allowing you to gain memory and draw cards, removing out of the breeding area, is really nice. And because it's a 3-cost, it's playable from the EX01 Greymon effect. So I think that's you need it. You need it out of 4 for this deck, because if you don't. So next Tamer we're running is 2 of the Marcus Damon. Came out in BT4. It's your memory setter. Sets you 3 memory. 3 memory is important for this deck. Also, if you have a Greymon and you attack with it, you can gain a memory. So all your level 4s will gain you memory as you attack. Yeah, so that's why we run it. So that's it for the Tamers. Next, we're going to get into the option cards of the deck. We are running 1, 2, 3 of the red memory boost. Reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 red Digimon from that and put the rest to the bottom of the deck. And then has the delayed effect of gaining 2 memory, just allowing you to gain memory when you need it. Because if you get 3 memory, go into Bond of Bravery, get rid of all their security, pop a red memory boost, and you can go into a Goonie and win game. Gain memory whenever you need it and search. It's just kind of like too good. It's too good of a combo, so that's why we run it at 3. Could run it at 4 to be honest, but the last card we were running is Gaia Force. Reason being, it's Gaia Force. It's just going to delete something. This is kind of the flex spot of the deck, which is weird because there's only 1 card. But like if you needed more search, add another red memory boost. You need more of the Bond of Bravery, add that instead. I kind of had this as I got to 49 cards and wasn't sure what to add, so I was like, when in doubt, Gaia that shit. So I Gaia'd it out. If it comes to a point where I think it's not necessary, I'll take it out and switch it. But this OTK heavy format, so having a Gaia bomb in security is really nice. So that's why we run that. Alright, so that was the deck list for Agubond and BT-09. I understand this deck really kind of has some bad matchups against blocker heavy decks that de-digivolve, delete things, Death X. It has a lot of things not helping it out in the current meta that are just too good. If you want to just have a good time, take a fun deck to your locals. Maybe you've already got your invites to wherever you need to go to, and you just want to just kind of have some fun, cheeky games. This is a really fun deck to play, so I really recommend it. Like this style, and I've never actually got to play the Agubond when it came out during its heyday, because it was just too expensive to jump into that deck. Agubond for life, you know. So I'm rambling. Thank you for coming and watching the video, and I hope you try this deck out. And if you do, let me know. Comment down below. And if you think we could add other cards to the deck that make it better, I say you do that and you let me know. Also, if you made it this far into the video, please comment your favorite video game. Yeah, comment your favorite video game, and yeah, I'll give you a thumbs up knowing you made it this far. Again, thank you. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day. See ya. Peace.